What is going on? It is Tuesday night, and you are tuned in to Doctor Who in Review. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Ken, Rich, they're taking the night off. I've thrown them into the time vortex. We are talking Doctor Who tonight. So welcome back here to Nerd Initiative TV Talk. It's been a while since we've done this. And with me tonight, we're going to be talking about the Doctor Who Season 2 finale. As always, with me is the one, the only. He's the guy that puts the Sonic in my screwdriver. He is Mickey CWK Smith.
Whoa, that was a good one. That might.
It took 24 hours to say that, dude.
I need an adult.
Well, luckily, we have one adjacent joining us this evening. She is the diva of drafts and dialogue. She is the one and only Hoppy Mommy, Lauren from Hops Geek News.
Yeah, I can't follow up Sonic in your screwdriver.
Yeah.
No, come on. You can't go wrong there.
No, guess not. It works on anything except wood.
Oh.
Someone get me a banana. I got a funny story about that. But hey, what's going on, guys? We have finally done another whole season of Doctor Who. So round of applause to everybody out there. The team, everybody, the actors, everybody, on staff, all the behind the scenes folks. Congratulations on that. BBC, Disney, still working together. How, I don't know. But you know what? They did their thing.
Yeah.
So we're talking Doctor Who. What did you guys feel about this season? And then we're going to jump into the actual finale. So, yes,
Can we go
no,
first?
maybe.
I thought
Yeah,
it was enjoyable. I didn't think there was anything like knock it out of the park or don't blink or anything, but I thought it was very much so enjoyable. Each episode standalone was great. A lot of fun callbacks, which I really love when they do that in Doctor Who because there's so much content to pull from, and I feel like sometimes doctors forget that they have these past lives, and then they're only referenced randomly when a person shows up that a lot of people don't even know who they are. So I thought they did a great job of tying some stuff together and bringing things up, but overall, I didn't walk away 100% satisfied as I have in past seasons.
Okay.
I mean, pretty similar. I think I liked it maybe a little bit more than you guys did. Like, I really did enjoy this season. We'll probably get more into it because yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was really good. I felt like
what it's like working with me, Mickey. Let's be honest.
There was a lot of good episodes. Ncuti Gatwa just blew it out of the water to me. Like, I feel like this was a really good season for him in particular, in the role. I loved Belinda Chandra as a companion. She was great. There was a lot of cool little stories and a lot of like you said, a lot of cool callbacks. And yeah, I think I liked it maybe a little more than you guys did because I walked away from each episode, maybe one or two, other than like one or two, like, oh man, that was great. I had a great time. So yeah.
I did really like Belinda. I thought she was a great companion.
I enjoyed the whole season. Let's not get this misconstrued. You guys know I have my thoughts and feelings. I've also been watching Doctor Who for 30 some odd years now.
Yeah.
So I got feelings. But I enjoyed every episode, but there were a lot of takeaways that you took it away and like, why did we go there?
Okay.
So there's a lot of shortcomings that I found out of this. We originally started off this whole second season with, is he leaving? Is he not leaving? There were a lot of rumors going on if Ncuti Gatwa was leaving. We knew that, Millie was going to be stepping down from the role of Ruby Sunday, but then we watched the season and she's like pretty still integral still. Yeah. Not in every episode kind of deal, but, just enough that it's also starring.
Well, she had one that was just her. Like, she was the main character.
Yeah.
I think that might have been contractual stuff. Just my idea. But yeah, so let's start this off. Before talking about Wish World, let's start at the end of the International Song Contest, where we finally get to find out who Mrs. Flood is.
Yeah.
She is the Ronnie.
That was a pretty good, I guess I'll say twist, because at least my wife and I were just kind of like, I mean, she's the master, right? Or the mistress, whatever you want to, like, it's going to be her, right?
You were thinking she was Missy.
And I I know the name the Ronnie, but couldn't tell you a darn thing about her because I didn't watch like a lot of those older episodes. So when she appeared, I was like, wait, I know that name. And then yeah, I got to learn a whole new thing because I didn't know very much about her. So that was very interesting to me.
Yeah.
It was good that they didn't go with that because it's the obvious answer. Oh, it's Missy or it's the Master, whatever you want to call it.
Miss Missy.
And they were like, for the casual fan, probably it's more like the railroad, like this is where we're going, and then swerve. So that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I will say I met Michelle Gomez at New York a few years ago. She is an absolute hoot in person.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, she's great in Doom really Patrol too.
That's what it was for. But yeah, the whole bi-generation thing. Again, I got feelings. I got things to say. But I like the fact that we got the Ronnie. If you go back to one of Tennant's episodes where, we see that little child and who we think is Doctor's mother and, Rassilon and all that stuff. I was like, this is great. We're reestablishing the Time Lords. And then we drop that storyline. And then the Ronnie magically comes back. So I know, Lauren, you're not as deep of a Whovian. What did you think of this new, what the heck?
I liked it. I thought it was, again, like a surprise because some people were saying, oh, it's going to be Clara or something like that because I didn't think she was going to be a bad guy. I thought she was going to be a good guy. She seemed very much so like trust the Doctor and this and that. Mm-hmm. And so when they did the, kind of evil twist, I was surprised. I do like when they're doing these nods to pre-2005 that they're showing you. It's like when you're watching Cobra Kai and you get a clip of the Karate Kid.
Yes.
So right away you're like, oh, okay, this is very obviously from that. And I also love because, they're calling him John Smith at one point. So you see that. So and the fact that she recognized Mel, I thought that was really cool. So just kind of, making all of these things connect was awesome. But yeah, what do they call it? Bilateral.
Bi-generation.
I was going to say bifurcation. That's not what it was. But yeah, we see that for the first time, and now that's going to become the norm. I didn't particularly love that. Like, that was kind of a cool concept because it was the first time. But then for the second time, we're seeing a regeneration. We're seeing it again. So that kind of threw me. Well, but it was kind of interesting seeing them work together and how, she immediately was like, okay, you're the main one, which did make me understand the David Tennant one when he split a little more because I was like, how can he just sit this out? He's still him. He's still the Doctor. But if feels different because of how they regenerated. Oh, okay, that makes more sense that I guess he just has this feeling of like, I'm okay not being the main one. It's like, I don't know, Splinter from The Boys or something.
It's kind of like,
sorry.
Well, I know
trauma.
That original, David Tennant, and Gatwa, that they were just setting us up like, this is a thing, this can happen. Mm-hmm. Us not knowing that it's gonna be like the big reveal later on, like, hey, look what could actually happen with Time Lords.
But yeah. I love the fact that when they did go to Tennant as the 14th, coming right off Jodie Whittaker and we knew Ncuti was going to be the next Doctor. We didn't know which one. That was a great surprise.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since Doctor Who fans were surprised.
Excited.
Right.
Yeah.
And
shout out to Jodie Whittaker. When she filmed that, she was pregnant, which is really cool because she was the only Doctor who actually had 2 heartbeats. Like, that's really cool.
Nice catch.
So I didn't catch that. I read it somewhere on like a meme or something. Wish I could credit the person who did, but I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But when I saw that, I thought, like, that is so cute.
Yeah.
So
wholesome.
Yes. Fun little fun fact.
Having a moment.
So we go into the international song contest, which I had a lot of hope for because I'm a big Eurovision fan to begin with.
Like the Graham Norton cameo was funny.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well, one of my favorite bands in my playlist is from like 15 years ago from Eurovision, and then it's one of the few Will Ferrell movies that I actually like.
One of?
Which one?
Yeah. Eurovision.
It was funny, but that's not even his best. Oh yeah, you don't like Elf, right?
I've never seen it.
Ugh.
Never. And I don't. And
Ninny Muggins.
I'll put it this way: I like Will Ferrell as much as our editor-in-chief.
Oh gosh, likes U.S. Agent.
Likes U.S. Agent and Sentry. It's the truth. Come on, come at me, Super Chat. Let me know. And again, share your thoughts, about these episodes in the chat. This is why we're doing this. This is why we're talking to you, because I just wanted to give Ken a break. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Because we've been writing him about Sentry for long enough. Because I have enough jokes that has the power of 1,000,000 burning suns. But now we're jumping into Wish World. And it starts off kind of weird. The Ronnie is using some time portal thing and goes back to the seventh son of the seventh son of a seventh son, a statistical anomaly to get a baby to make wishes.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm going to reach over here and see if I can go grasp some more straws.
I do love when they start an episode where you're like, what the hell's going on? I genuinely do love that. Like they did that in the Laura Kinney Wolverine last month, where it was like she wakes up and it's Christmas morning and Logan's her dad, and it's like, and you have no idea how she got there and you find out later. And they do that in Supernatural quite a bit too. So like I love putting the pieces together backwards sometimes. I think that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But that wasn't even a piece. It was a plot device.
No, I'm talking about like when they woke up in the Wish World and they were like, okay. Good morning, honey. And you're like, what's happening?
Yes.
So I like that. The whole, that was kind of actually really tragic. She just turns all the kids into ducks and the mother into like flower. Like, I mean, that was because they weren't like brutally murdered. They were turned into these things that are nice. It didn't seem as tragic as it was, but yeah, that was really bad.
But it was.
And that baby was creepy when it laughed.
And the fun thing is that the Ronnie, that is why she was an exiled Time Lord, is because she would use humans as genetic experiments. She always thought she was
just pets.
So that actually attract. It was par for the course. I was perfectly fine with that. Didn't even flinch.
Well, it was a good way to just for her to be
ruthless
without killing.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, the seventh son, I rode with it because I'm like, okay, cool, man, whatever, let's go. But just actually at first when she kissed the baby and like breathed, and I was like, I don't get it, what's happening? Like I didn't understand the wish part yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, anybody did.
I was like, what the heck is happening right now? She just kissed a baby, blew air or noise or sound or something, and changed people. And I was like, what is happening right now? So yeah, I was confused for a hot minute there.
And then getting into it, we go into the actual Wish World, and we get to see our good friend come back narrating the whole thing.
Gosh, that guy, he did a great job because I hated his guts. And I don't even know, he's probably a really nice guy, but I still hate his guts.
I like that when he's mentioning nice weather around the world, he just throws in Missouri. Yeah. Like that's where you're gonna like not Los Angeles or New York or Miami. It's like Missouri. Like, okay,
it sounds good. It sounds a little bit off, and I love the fact that the book. Wrong one. The storybook itself has a very almost early Harry Potter kind of feel, or something you would see on a children's shelf, say late 70s, late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah.
And so he's stuck in this bone palace with the baby, making this world for the Ronnie, and everybody is just completely brainwashed. I love the fact that we did get John Smith, the famous moniker of the Doctor every time he's been human, where he wears the pocket watch. Tennant has been John Smith. I believe Capaldi did a few John Smith episodes, or at least
Capaldi's era is like a little bit of a blur for me.
Yeah.
Well, I know Tennant did because that's when he was doing the professor thing for a while.
Yeah, when he met Sarah Jane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think Capaldi did too when he met Bill.
Yeah, he was a teacher.
And he was a professor.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah.
So the whole John Smith reference, good on them. Yeah. The very, very nuclear family dynamic, that Connor was going for, like that was just Stepford Wives creepy.
It was Gilead creepy. Yeah, it was like Handmaid's Tale kind of thing. And I thought that was really cool with the disabled people where they're like, well, they don't see us because he doesn't see us. And I was like, I thought that was a really interesting take how they did that.
It's interesting though that what's the limit of this power then? Because why wouldn't they just like disappear if he didn't want them there? Or did some part of him not want them to?
I don't think it's that he didn't want them there. He doesn't see them. He doesn't recognize them. He walks by and doesn't notice them.
There you go. Yeah. So they're almost like, yeah.
And I think that's what happened when we got to the second episode and Rose wasn't there either.
Right, which
Hold on
makes
to
sense because he's a bigot.
Hold on though, because that's the they them, right? The trend.
Yeah,
She I don't know what her pronouns are, but she was gone completely. So like there had to be something to that where like he didn't want certain people to exist.
Oh, 100%. Remember when the doctor tells the other guy he's a beautiful man and he's like, you can't say that.
Oh yeah, he freaked out.
Yeah. So this guy's clearly like a homophobe and whatnot. And
Yeah.
Rose is, I believe she's a she, her.
Yeah.
And she transitions because they had that whole thing where the grandmother was like, oh, did I say that right? Was, I okay?
That's
and
right.
I thought they addressed that so beautifully in those episodes.
Amazing.
But yeah, this guy was like I did like when they called Rose an ableist, the way they handled that, like that was cute too. And they were kind of making fun of her, but they, it was very sweet. So I did. There were parts of that I really did like. But yeah, the Conrad, when he switched just in the beginning, he did a really good job of playing sweet guy to just absolute ass.
Yeah. And the other thing is too, when I started watching that for the first episode of Wishworld, seeing the whole, seeing, oh crud, what's her name? In the wheelchair out there begging outside.
Oh,
right? Yeah. I went from 0 to I'm pissed. Because you don't usually see that in Doctor Who. You know what I mean? It's you touch upon it just lightly, but just blatantly, boom, we're gonna put it right in your face.
I get it.
Like I had to stop, take a second, go, and return. But when it came to Wishworld, like, was there anything really stand out about this episode? I think for me, it was all set up. Now, I could be wrong.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, I loved that. What's Kristoff's name in this show?
Rogue.
I should be able to remember that. Come on, I mean, yeah. So Rogue, I love that he was the one that saved the day. Like he told him like tables can't do that. And like we weren't seeing the cup sliding through the tables before. We just were hearing like the crashes.
Right.
So I loved that he actually did that. And that was one of the things I was really upset about. For one, I don't think we got enough of the doctor. I keep not saying his real name because I'm so scared I'm going to butcher it. So I just keep avoiding saying it. I need to write it phonetically here. But I wanted to see their proper reunion. And when the doctor... whenever he regenerates, it's like he has different feelings for people. It's like Tennant was more so in love with Rose than I feel like the Ninth Doctor was.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I mean, obviously Matt Smith and Capaldi and everybody were in love with River Song, but I do feel like it's a little bit different. Oh, Ncuti Gatwa. Thank you, Tom. But so I wanted to see their reunion, and I feel like their reunion won't be the same if he's not in the same form.
And that that is one of the theories I'm looking forward to.
Maybe he'll find a reindeer.
Reindeers are better than people. But the question is, are we going to get Jonathan Groff back as, maybe a mad, British king too? Spittling
He'll
all over
be
everybody.
back. Wait and see.
You'll see. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is why we do this.
So we can just reference other fandoms focusing on one main fandom.
But there really was just not very much. I mean, we also got to see, on the flip side, the older Ronnie, look at that happy family.
Just precious.
Yeah. It was cool. Like, it was great. It was awesome. She got to be a little maternal, and then she'd walk out the door and be a complete, total witch.
Yeah.
Evil. Yeah.
And also on top, and I don't have a picture of this because I tried to get as many stock images as I could. Those computer.
Oh man, those were so cool.
Those were awesome.
I love that. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Like sci-fi horror kind of vibe. Love that.
Yep, that was really fun. So kudos to the whole, VFX teams, because that was all practical. Those the glass pieces, right, that looked like you go to the optometrist, those were 3D printed for the actress's comfort. And then if you watch the Doctor Who behind the scenes stuff, she was so stuck in that space, they would put styrofoam boards underneath her arms so they wouldn't move. Just to keep that perfect posture going.
Yeah.
Feel so claustrophobic.
Yeah.
I really like the design of like this bone palace and the bone beast and this thing, like that was something that was kind of stand out for me. I think mainly because like, what are they, right? Like they're just walking around and they're not destroying the city when they do so.
Right, they're just there.
Especially in, you know, the first part, Wish World, and because, you know, they didn't explain later, but yeah, you're just like, what is this? Is this part of the Wish? What is this? Like, that was a weird thing. And in those pictures where you show with Conrad inside the Bone Palace, it didn't strike me until later. If you're really paying attention, and I was not, my wife brought it up to me. It's like, because she called it, she was like, "Oh, they're inside the TARDIS," and I was like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, look at it.
Really?
It looks like, you know, David Tennant's TARDIS in a way, like that old style, like." And I was
the
like,
desktop pattern, yeah, the desktop theme. I get you.
And I was like, "Okay," and then at the end, I was like, "Oh, damn, she was right."
Okay,
that was a good guess, though, or a good theory.
Yeah. Why do we have you on?
I don't know.
Get her in here.
I told him last night.
Yeah.
So we find out that the Ronnie wants to use the baby, of which we find out is something else as well, to break reality, to find Omega. Sorry, folks, we're American. We call it Omega.
What are we supposed to call it? What were they calling it? They weren't saying
Omega. Omega. Oh, you know, it's like, you know, potato.
I think my brain just fixed it. I kept hearing Omega.
Yeah. Seriously. To find Omega. Now, Omega was one of the oldest, is the oldest Time Lord. Was one of the most ruthless, creative the Time Lords. I would have liked, you know, using Omega. I thought was a great idea. It's a great big callback. And like Lauren, like you said, using all the old material that they had, but still referencing it and making it topical and bringing it so you understand it. I think that was a great idea. I don't think they really succeeded in this because they didn't find that stock footage. There's a lot of great other YouTubers that put out, who's this? Who's that? Cool on that.
That was a kind of a disappointment for me when he came out of the tomb and he was just like that giant CG skeleton. I wanted to see that like armor, like that huge helmet he's wearing back in the day.
That almost
I was like, I was really excited when that thing was open. I was like, oh, dude, he's going to step out looking like Dr. Doom. It's going to be great. And then here comes a CG skeleton.
But so the Ronnie throws the Doctor out onto this balcony outside, and we see reality itself starting to warp because we're trying to get to the Underverse. Now, folks, as long as I've been watching Doctor Who, I've never heard of a freaking Underverse. Again, plot device. I'm sorry. These two whole episodes have had so many just becauses.
They've been talking a lot about gods, and I mean, I feel like it's only inevitable that you end up talking about an underworld when you're referencing gods.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that. See, this
he did mention that he's like every story has a hell or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, we had the whole episode in the barbershop with that, and I love that he mentioned he watched all of MCU up to Endgame with one of the
gods.
But in doing so, and we saw earlier in Wish World that the Ronnie was setting up these little, I thought she was just putting out light bulbs, you know? She was doing a little mood lighting. Nope. They were bombs.
Yeah.
And so the Doctor starts falling and falling and falling.
Maybe I'm missing something, because I thought like, okay, but like he'll just regenerate. Like, well, I'm going to get rid of the Doctor by killing him. Like, what? No, like he's just going to regenerate. So I didn't understand what unless his regeneration power had something to do with bringing Omega back. I don't know, but like that's what I was confused on. I was like, what is getting? He's not going to be gone for long. Maybe for a little while, but
maybe to drop the reality. I don't know.
Long enough just to get Omega back, I guess. I don't know.
But out of nowhere, we get Anita.
That was great.
I actually liked that.
I did too.
Maybe because I didn't love this Christmas episode. It didn't do much for me. I thought it was very disappointing. It was probably my least favorite Christmas one. Yeah, I know.
I liked it a lot.
Tom loved it, but
I was crying like a baby.
I don't know. It didn't hit with me. I don't know what it is. I mean,
I love any time where, not to get off subject of the season finale, but where the Doctor gets stuck somewhere for a really long time and gets to know people really well like that. I like that kind of stuff. And then like he has an actual bond, not just like we're traveling in space. We're sitting in one
Well, I
place
liked his
aging.
bond with her. I don't know what it was. I think it
Yeah,
just fell flat for me.
I got
But
you.
I liked that they brought her back because then I felt like that episode made more sense.
There you go.
And so I liked how she went and tried to find him, and we got to see Matt Smith. I obviously like that. And, they showed another older doctor. So I thought that was
John
kind of cool.
Pertwee. Yep.
Yeah.
And that was the day of the Daleks, as a matter of fact. And again, going back
I've heard of that.
And that again was again, if you watch the bonus content from BBC on their YouTube channel, when Anita opened up the door, that Dalek that went right by,
yeah,
that's a real life one that they shot on set that she didn't know was behind the door.
That's awesome.
So when that bad boy rolls right by, and we're seeing John Pertwee in the background, she's going.
That's fine. Well, I liked how she kept saying like, "Oh, I just work at a hotel," and it was like, "No, you saved the day."
Yeah.
So the doctor says everybody is important. Everybody, is there for a reason, and he's always a big advocate of that. So, yeah, I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And when he finally was able to break the spell and coming down, and he was originally wearing, that wonderful suit with, as he's going to work, to then change it up into that, fantastic skirt vest combo. Like, how
he
cool
pulls
was
off
that?
both so perfect.
Oh, yeah, I was like, that is an epic outfit, bro.
Like, give me that for Halloween.
He took Conrad's stuffy like thing and turned it on its head into his thing, and I love that. That was really cool. He made it. He made it something Conrad would hate, and that was awesome.
Yeah. I'm really gonna miss him. I mean, he's the only doctor that changes clothes, isn't he? Did any of the old ones?
Tennant had a brown suit, a blue suit,
but he always had the same outfit.
Different blue suit. Yeah.
Always wearing.
Capaldi had like 2 or 3 variations on.
But he still always had the same jacket on, kind of thing.
Just some kind of change, like slight changes to it.
Right. It's like this. I mean, this was the first Ken we had to play the doctor. Yeah. Maybe that's why it is. Ken comes with all the clothes. But
now, did you happen to watch last night on Play for Keeps when we were talking about
Cabbage Patch?
Yep, and how we were talking about the news that Doctor Who has Barbies in the Mattel collection.
That was cool.
And did you know that he got the call to go to Doctor Who when he was filming Barbie?
Oh, I didn't know that. That's fun.
Full circle, man.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the other strange plot device. Poppy. Space babies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, shoot.
I want the mom vibes. Go for it.
So one of the things I really did love Belinda, and what I thought was very interesting in the first episode, where she's like, she didn't get that itch, like, I want to go travel, I'm instantly your companion, let's go. She was like, you need to get me home. And I was like, I was like, oh, that's actually interesting. I like that she wants to get home. But then it made more sense because, like, if I ended up in space with somebody, I'd be like, no, I need to get home to my children. So I actually kind of did like that in the end, that she was a mom, and that's why she was adamant she needed to come home, and like she can't be traveling, the world. Not everybody's baby instantly, gets brainwashed and tries to kill their own parents and gets renamed River Song or whatever. So I did think that was kind of a cool twist. I love when they always go back, but I didn't fully understand. I felt like some of it didn't like fall in line as perfectly as they made it seem like it did at the end.
I don't think that. And again, I could be completely wrong with this. I don't think that she actually said those lines.
I don't think so either.
She didn't. Yeah, she just kept saying she wanted to go home, and then it was like things that he had like forgotten, or that they added on scenes that we didn't see. Yeah, so we didn't know.
So
he had selective hearing, like a good husband should.
I was wondering if that was kind of like just showing how the doctor kind of that's how he lives, right? Like he's only about the adventure. He's not really listening sometimes. Unless
I thought it was still leftover Conrad brainwashing, but it could be that too.
That could be it too. It could have, I guess, traveled through the time stream, like all this stuff they did that's connected to May 24th, right? It was May 24th. Yeah. It kind of filtered through.
Now, because they did this whole thing on May 24th, do you kind of wish they would have done parts 1 and 2, Wish World and the Reality War both on May 24th instead of having to make you wait another week?
Yeah, it would have made more sense.
Yeah, we were definitely like, when it hit to be continued, we were like, come on, man.
Dude, you get that ... and I'm just, yeah. It was just a lot. But, we're talking about how, Belinda and Poppy, and look at that.
She was so cute.
She was adorable.
Adorable little baby. Seriously. And they're trying their best to save her, realizing. Now, do you think it was a cheap move by In the Wish world saying, oh, well, she's your kid, and oh, well, she's part-time Lord, and we're sterile, and all this?
Doesn't he have a daughter?
That's what he had
For
kids.
real?
Yeah.
We've seen David Tennant and David Tennant's.
Tennant said he's had kids. Capaldi said he's had kids.
Yeah.
And then there's the big one in the room with the first Doctor.
The granddaughter.
Susan.
Yeah.
Whom of which we've referenced not only just in this episode, but early in the Abbey Road episode back in season. Wait,
is that the same actress?
Yes, she came back to reprise her role 60 years later.
That is awesome.
She was never like resolved in any way, right? Like that was just like she was just like a reminder, I guess. I don't know. Like I wanted to see something.
And then last season they kept leaning into it, and didn't give us anything. And then they leaned into it again in this.
Yep, and then there was no payoff.
Right. Gotta wait another 2 years.
Yeah, it'll come.
Maybe.
I thought for a second Mrs. Flood might be Susan.
Yeah.
There was theories of that. Yeah, that was another theory I kept hearing.
But it's just so much. And look, I'm not going to say it was a very typical comic booky setup, finish, and then it just fizzled out as far as I was concerned. It's like, oh, hey, we're opening the thing. There's the symbol of Rassilon. Now it's the symbol of Omega. Omega opens up, and he's these, big mucked up skeleton thing. And I did not download pictures of it because I didn't want to look at it.
Again, I didn't get it. I was like, why?
He became his own self-fulfilling prophecy. That's why I also think, like you said, Lauren, Poppy, that I have to be back, I have to be home. It was she was her own self-fulfilling prophecy as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, that's just me. Now, getting into the whole thing with Omega, and then, they try to reboot the world, and Anita, again, just keeping the door open so actual reality flows in the whole time at Unit. What did we think that Unit was when you saw that huge ship's wheel?
Oh, it looks like the Avengers Tower. Oh, the ship wheel.
I'm thinking we're going like Voltron Legendary Defender. It's going to turn
into a
spaceship.
I 100% thought that thing was going to transform into a Zord.
Instead of like battle tower mode.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't go there. I see that and I picture Prince Eric stabbing Ursula. So
or in the vein of what Lauren's saying, like it would disconnect and just kind of like helicarrier like her around. Yeah. I was like, dude, that would have been so cool.
Yeah, I mean, heck,
you would think they would have something like that planned.
Yeah.
Where they would need to evacuate London immediately and have their whole facility go with them. Yeah, that would be a good idea. They should do that. Come on,
yeah, London Eye becomes the propeller, and then you go to the shards.
There's still people on the London Eye.
Right? They Megazord it together with landmarks. Buckingham Palace is the legs.
I like when he went under Tower Bridge. He was just like on that like Green Goblin thing, and I'm just like, what's happening right now?
Oh yeah.
So again, this is one of those things that I'm annoyed with Doctor Who right now. Like we're spending so much money on, and again, I'm not a TV producer. I don't, write this stuff, but we're wasting so much money on this Flash. Like, give me a good episode. Give me back a few episodes. Give me a 12 episode season. Give me a 13 episode season. Don't give me 8 episodes of all, pretty and rush it. I didn't need that montage of him flying around. Was it fun? Yeah, don't get me wrong. Was it necessary?
No.
Not really.
No. I was the whole time I was like, aren't you in a hurry, dude? Like, why don't you just go straight up to the, or why are you flying around having a good time?
Well, here's the thing. It's, yeah, exactly. If you had a longer season, then these little things, when they pay off sooner, I feel like it hits more. Like to have it pay off is like Stranger Things. Like, I don't know anybody who was really excited when the trailer came out because we're all just kind of like, that's old news. Like, yes, we are in a society where we want, instant gratification. We want to binge the whole episode. We want it right now. And it is better to stretch it out and do it week by week and like genuinely enjoy the content and be able to think about it on episode by episode. But doing this, like, it's like The Last of Us. Like when it ended, we're like, well, see you in 2 years when we've forgotten all of this. So when you're going to have these...
waiting because I want to binge it all right now.
Smart. So in 6, 8, 10 years, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're gonna have such a complicated plot that goes over multiple episodes with these little things, yeah, you need to have it pay off a little bit.
Yeah. Agreed.
Now, speaking of payoff, we do get that, Omega does come out and I did save one picture, okay, and eats the Ronnie. I thought that was great. And using the Vindicator as a weapon, like, boy, we didn't see that coming since, Miami. and at the same time, the Doctor doesn't use guns.
No.
That's a good point.
The Doctor's like Batman, doesn't use guns, uses his brains.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing is, what do you call, because I don't think I've seen some conjecture online, what are we going to call the Ronnie's Sonic?
It's not just a sonic screwdriver?
It's not, because if you look, and this is my thing, it looked more like a syringe, like an old school syringe.
She's like a
because
geneticist.
she's a geneticist.
Yeah.
Oh. I almost thought it looked like a Gillette razor, like from Star Wars.
I was just going to go there too. We don't do this for a living, folks. We just like this stuff. So the wish ends and everything's just 1% off. And Ruby is the only one that can remember things. Why? Because we're New Who, and there always has to be the most important girl in the universe.
We still don't understand why she's significant.
Right. Thank you.
So was Pond. So was Rose. So was I'm sorry. Every single female companion except for Yaz has been the most important girl in the universe.
I don't know. I feel like Amy Pond was.
She was.
Yeah, for sure.
I maybe just because she's my favorite companion.
No. She was a big.
Yeah, and her kid was born on the TARDIS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If he wants more Time Lords, why doesn't he just have people making babies on the TARDIS?
There you go.
Make it like a honeymoon suite. Turn it into a honeymoon hotel.
There you go. I mean, at least
one of the doors in the hotel. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. We just solved the Time Lord population crisis.
Oh, you wanted the honeymoon suite? That's door whatever.
And the question is, which Doctor do you want?
10.
8, I would much prefer.
No, but they don't have to be a doctor. Like Rory and Amelia were not Time Lords. They just happened to do it on the TARDIS. So voila.
Yeah, but River only got 1 regeneration.
That's true.
But wasn't that because she did something to sacrifice herself? She sacrificed like a regeneration for the Doctor or something. I don't remember.
So the first time that she regenerated was when she was Amy's childhood friend, Mel. Right?
Yeah.
And that was that one particular episode. I'm not going to say
But obviously she had regenerated before that.
Let's unalive somebody. So.
Oh, well, it's Hitler.
I don't know if we can say that on YouTube.
You can't say that on YouTube, my bad.
Not sure.
This is a historical documentary.
All these words have been used in a census, boys and girls.
We've definitely used it talking about Supernatural.
But it was kind of, I get it. And the whole idea that it was sterile. I was like, all right. And the last of the Time Lords. And we still don't know from last time we talked to the curator where the hell Gallifrey is.
Yeah.
There's a whole other plot device there. It's supposed to be locked in a separate dimension. Now we have gods coming through, leaking through the fabric of the universe. Why the hell can't we find Gallifrey now?
Yeah.
Wasn't he there at one point? Or who was there? Rose? Not Rose. Clara. Wasn't Clara there? I feel like I need to rewatch this show. So much has happened and it's like so hard to keep some of this timey-wimey stuff straight.
The 60th anniversary was when we had Matt Smith and David Tennant meet up and Clara was there. And at the end, when Matt Smith was looking at the Gallifrey Falls, that's when the curator, played by 4th Doctor Tom Baker, comes up and says, oh, well, maybe you might use some old faces again. Who knows? Who knows? And he says that the name of the painting is called Gallifrey Falls No More. And that's when we were first introduced to Capaldi, who over the century, thousands of years, they had figured out how to use the TARDIS energy to wrap it in its own time bubble in a separate dimension, much like the time that they had landed in that other off dimension with the mother, the father, and the daughter, who became the living embodiment incarnation of the TARDIS. Oh my God, I'm a Doctor Who nerd.
Dude.
I was like, I went far. Like, I didn't feel like I remembered any of that.
I was almost following you for a minute there, so yeah.
Can we make that a clip, Mickey?
Yes, we can.
I think we can. So there have been times that we've gone out of reality. I mean, so I'm just wondering, like, we can come back to Gallifrey at some point.
Yeah, we have to. It's going to happen. Yeah,
it has to, because we've literally done so many things. But getting back to the fact that we need to find Poppy and bring Poppy back, Ncuti decides, or the Doctor decides, that he's going to use his own regeneration energy to bend the fabric of the universe. Why? Plot device. Like, can we just call this Doctor Who Season 2, The Plot Device?
I feel like they've always used the screwdriver as a plot device. It's like, oh, you don't know how to fix it. It's just, it's fixed.
Yeah.
Voila.
I am glad one thing that they did take away between 14 and 15 was the light 3D printing that he was doing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was going to say that's a little too far. So to go back to this big old remote control thing, I was not a fan of, but it's better than, hey, I've got a light 3D printer.
When did he stop being able to snap the door open on the TARDIS? Now he has keys again?
Well, that's just his preference. Their preference, I should say.
Yeah.
All right. I like the snapping open. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I thought that when, the Doctor did find the TARDIS again at the door for, Conrad's room, I would have loved an old-fashioned snap.
Yeah.
It would have been a great callback. But the other great callback is, we've always seen in most recent regenerations, they've gone through and they've seen past parts of themselves or past lives or past companions. Oh. Have we ever gotten to see a complete other Doctor show up?
I don't think so.
Like, Jodie Whittaker is back on the TARDIS.
Yeah.
Like, how freaking cool is that? I was a fan of Jodie Whittaker.
She was fantastic.
Did I like the Flux? Do I think that they, again, didn't know how to write for the first female Doctor? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I liked her and her companions, but I didn't love the storylines they were dealing with.
Yeah, the fam was great. I think the fam was fantastic. And I love the fact that when they were talking to, that the Doctor and the Doctor were talking and Yaz came up.
Yeah.
Like,
she's like, I never told her I love you, and you don't.
Mm-hmm.
That was a little heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And that was good. Like, when Matt Smith regenerated and Amy came back down the stairs with all the pictures, and they're playing, what group was that they were playing? It was some big whiny cryboy, sad boy, and Amelia comes down and says, "Raggedy Man, I let you go." I'm sobbing. Like, when you can do a regeneration that good and that emotionally powerful, that's awesome. So to get Jodie Whittaker to come back in that regard, fantastic. I think she finally got the send off that she deserved.
Yeah.
I loved her reaction to him too. You are beautiful, or whatever.
Yes. You really are beautiful.
They were great together. Good chemistry.
Yeah. And the fact that, the last time that we've really had two Doctors together. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about Tennant and Matt Smith, but when they did when 5 and 10 did their crossover for the Children in Need special.
I didn't see that.
It's a special. I'll send you a link later, where they both were acknowledging each other. Now,
5? Is 5 his father-in-law?
His real life father, and yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So it's definitely worth watching. It's less than 10 minutes long. It's real cute. My favorite thing is that, and this is my callback that I called out of all of this. Oh, you redecorated. I don't like it. This goes back all the way to 2.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So when Jodie did it, I'm cracking up. There's so many little callbacks, but when you get something that specific, because I can still hear Tennant in my head, I don't like it.
I don't like it.
No. His was messy.
Yeah. What is it? War Doctor called it the desktop format.
Yeah.
So, and then, we have this beautiful, bright, clean one that you just don't like, Lauren.
I don't like it. It's too bright. Too many lights. You need to tone it down.
Nikki, what's your favorite TARDIS interior?
It's 10. It's 10.
It is?
Yeah. I love how alien it looks. That's cool to me.
I will say, we're never going to see it again. It was 8 for me. Probably was the best one, in my opinion. And then Capaldi's was probably my number 2.
His was pretty good, yeah.
Because I liked that they took Matt Smith's and then they just added a little more library feel to it.
Yeah.
So
I honestly don't. Oh yeah, I'm just looked up Matt Smith's. I don't remember specifically what Matt Smith's looks like. It's like inside a ride at Disney World.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
He's the Mad Doctor. It's cool.
Well, it's like you're going to go in and
Madman with a box.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Madman with a box.
Yeah.
So the Doctor decides to use his own regeneration energy to move the fabric of the universe just 1%. And this was awesome. And
really
with a little bit of help from, Jodie Whittaker's doctor says, change your one chromosome slightly to the left. Why? Where did that come from? Again, like we're just going to throw more out there because it's Doctor Who?
Maybe that explains who he regenerates into. Maybe they'll take that way. I don't know.
So that was funny when he said, I really was the best. Well, no, I was the best female doctor, and we did get a reference to Jo, the fugitive doctor, earlier this year in the story and the engine, who, she did come back. So kudos to her.
Oh, yeah.
And so we are leading into the fact that the Doctor has regenerated.
It was a beautiful one too. Like
it was really good. Like I thought Jodie Whittaker's was pretty, but yeah, this was something.
It felt. Oh man! So like, obviously they're all kind of sad, and especially this one because I didn't see it coming. I didn't know that this was happening, so this was like a surprise for me.
It felt like it was too soon.
Obviously it was, but like, I was like, okay, like this is gonna be so sad, and it was like kind of, but it was also like. It was a good celebration too, though. To me, like it felt like
it was more sweet than bitter. It wasn't bittersweet. It was sweeter. Bitter.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't want him to go,
it was heartbreaking.
I think the sad thing was like I was like, it's over already. Like I really like this Doctor. I think that was the sad thing for me. Not so much like the actual regeneration itself, like the whole. It was just beautiful, and I was like kind of filled with like joy. And I mean, I think he said something about that, like the brightest star in the universe or something like that when he does it.
Which is the reference to Joy from the Christmas episode.
And I was like, that was good. I like that was a nice touch. So it was a happy regeneration more than a sad regeneration, but sad that we're losing Ncuti Gatwa.
Yeah. It was like a fling that like, that was really fun and I'll always look fondly back on it. Whereas like Tennant, I was in love with.
Yeah.
And I was heartbroken when he left.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm a big old baby when that happened.
I think he was heartbroken too. Yeah.
So if you've been living in an underverse and you've been completely knowing what's going on, we now have the new regeneration. And I'm going to say regeneration because I have a point of contention here.
Okay.
So the Doctor has regenerated into Billy Piper. And I'm just, Rose.
So number one, because I started watching on the Ninth Doctor with Christopher Eccleston. Like I love Rose. I was kind of like I was into Rose. I thought she was really cool. And my wife like hates her. Like that's her least favorite companion.
She's my least favorite companion.
And I'm like
dislike her. It's just
she loves Donna. Donna's her favorite. So and Martha. Donna and Martha and I love Martha. Martha's probably my second favorite. So like obviously when it happened, I knew I was like I could feel it. You could feel pressure without knowing. Without looking, I was like, I don't want to look over at her because she's gonna be so mad. And I like slowly like looked over and the look on her face, I was like, oof, this is not good. And then when it over, she's like, what the hell was that? And like I was like, I don't know what's happening. I'm so confused. She started asking me a bunch of questions. I was like, don't ask me. I don't know.
Now, speaking of our spouses, my wife has not watched this yet, but I was like, come on, watch it.
Yes.
What happened? Well, the Doctor regenerated. Yeah, I knew that. Who? And I said, Billy Piper. And she went, wait. Rose.
I love her. I love her, but like I don't get it. They'll have to explain it to me. Like I feel like this is gonna be a gag, like probably a 1 episode thing. I don't know.
And this is where I'm going to start going off on it. But Lauren, what did you think when you saw Billy Piper after 15 years come back?
Well, it got spoiled in the Discord, so I had already seen that it had happened.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
Yeah, well, Matt had told me there was a theory. He's usually really good about not spoiling things. Like he's kept a few things for me that I was like impressive. I'm shocked I didn't know that. But yeah, so this one, I think because I think he thought I would just be disappointed. He's like, yeah, the rumors are true. I don't know. It just felt weird. I didn't know really what to feel like. I didn't dislike Rose, but she's definitely my like least favorite companion. Like I loved Amelia, I loved Martha, I loved Donna. There was just something about her. Like I enjoyed the episode she's in, but it never did much for me. But what I was confused about is like there's a version of her out there with a version of 10.
I'm on this. I am so ahead of you on this. You have no idea.
Go for it.
But one thing, and it was one of my coworkers brought this up. Okay. Now think about this. We're going to go back. We're going to go back 10 years. We're going to go back to the 60th special, right? Or whatever, 50th special. We had this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we just get this.
Oh, because they didn't say, yeah. So she's not introduced as the Doctor, where it had just said Jodie Whittaker and Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor right before that. Yeah, I don't know.
So here's one theory I got going here. Tennant and Billy Piper are obviously going to meet up on screen again, because this is the one Doctor you're talking about, the Metacrisis Doctor at Bad Wolf Bay, right?
Yeah. I
think 14 and whatever this regeneration is are going to something's going to happen. They have to.
Yeah, but but they're the same person.
Oh no! I'm not talking that kind of thing happening.
Just a meetup.
Oh, okay.
I think there's going to be a story and plot device here that somehow their regeneration powers bring them back together, because the Ronnie using bi-generation just so, casually.
Yeah.
Just seemed like, oh, we're just going to write it off as in, oh yeah, we did bi-generation. Well, why the hell didn't the Master use it? Why didn't this person use it? Why didn't that person?
But it seems like they don't have control over it. Like it just happens. It's like twins.
I don't know. I just think it was just such a throwaway line.
Because Ronnie seemed annoyed at first.
Well, because she's the superior one. She's always had that.
But Tennant was shocked.
Yep.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's some reason for it.
Yeah, lazy writing.
This is how you repopulate the Time Lords with bi-generation.
I thought about that too. Yeah, it's like what do you call it?
Osmosis.
Like okay, I was gonna say asexual reproduction.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
that's the other one. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying.
But like, this is where I'm worried, because we still have the 14th out there, right? And we have, are we going to this again? Are we going to, there's just so much that they can screw up.
Oh, yeah. I mean
they already have. So
big ball of timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly. Like it's so the timelines are so like convoluted, I guess, for lack of a better word. Like it's gonna be. I think we're so far beyond like trying to keep everything canon or like consistent. It's just gonna be like, I don't know, what do we do next? Let's throw something at the wall.
and the Time Variance Authority.
I think there you go.
Yeah.
A Curious Potato says it's a mess.
It's a mess.
This is where I think that they have jumped the time shark. All right.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
We start off with bi-generation with Tennant and Ncuti, right? And then we brought back the Ronnie. Okay, cool. Then we brought back the Ronnie and bi-generation, and now we're going to Billy Piper. Like, I think we're just trying. We're just taking spaghetti, throwing it at the wall, and seeing what sticks at this point.
You think they're trying to bring back people they lost over the years?
Yeah, it might almost. I mean, it might just be like a grab for old fans, you know,
Yeah.
people that don't like that there's a black doctor, or well, I guess they can't be mad
A
about
lot of people
female
stopped with
doctor because it's
Jodie.
another
Yeah.
this would be
And
another
we also have
female
one
doctor.
that's female and black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's great. I wish I could see more of her, but like
that was
Drums.
cool when they did that quick shot with her.
yes.
But I've heard rumors that Rory and Amelia are coming back. I don't know if that's BS or not.
I don't know.
But, I
Maybe
mean,
they're
that
off
would
in some
be
nebula.
well, they're in the past. They lived their life.
Yeah.
They're
Didn't they
time
have
locked
more
with the
kids?
angel. They're time locked with the angels in New York.
Oh yeah.
Right. But then they went back and lived their life.
Mm-hmm. Now that was a Band-Aid. That was a
That was good though. I mean, it was sad, but it was good.
Yeah.
Although seeing the Statue of Liberty as a weeping angel was
that's one of my
expected.
favorites.
I was just like, whoa.
The little cherub ones, those are the ones that freak me out.
Oh yeah.
But overall, Ncuti Gatwa has done an amazing job as a doctor. I honestly think that he's probably one of the most joyous actors to play the doctor. Now, I would say that Tennant is the fun one.
Yeah.
Matt Smith was the quirky one.
Yeah.
Jodie was the ADHD one. Capaldi was the old one.
Curmudgeon.
No, he's on RoboForce.
Well, Clestine, not Nine was Eccleston. He was grumpy too, but he was like sassy grumpy.
Yeah, he was sassy grumpy. So I think that this portrayal of the Doctor was definitely joyous. Now 14's Tennant was, I don't know, get off my lawn. Like, I know these teeth. Get off my lawn.
No, he wasn't a get off my lawn.
They tried to make him a little edgier, and I didn't shave for a week, and he was a carbon
trying to make
copy
him more
of
David Tennant.
I don't know if acting wise he really stretched his coattails on that.
Okay.
That's fair. But I will say, I think on the flip side, as much as Ncuti was joyous, I saw personally a lot of Matt Smith's Doctor come out. What do you guys think?
I could see that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they both get excited, but they're also very emotional on like one extreme to the next. So I could see that.
I see it from a different perspective. I think that in the modern Who, not counting John Hurt, obviously, Matt Smith was the one that still had the most PTSD from the Time War. So when you saw something go wrong in Ncuti's portrayal, you saw him go from "yay, fun" to "I'm going to kill you."
Yeah, he did get pretty dark though. Was the singing one when he's punching?
Yes.
Like you never really see that. That did kind of take me by surprise.
Yep. So I'm down for that. The crying. Let's talk about that.
That was silly. It was like every episode at least one tear. Come on, dude. Yeah, no, I didn't love that. At first it was like, okay, good. He's emotional and he's, feeling things more appropriately, more as he should. But it got out of hand.
Yeah, I just, and I don't know if it's pretty much been scrubbed from the internet. There you go. Like if we wanted sad boy emo Doctor Who, this is what we should have got way back when.
Oh boy.
And trust me, you can't find very many of these pictures out there, but Matt Smith was supposed to be very much like this. Like, I make My Chemical Romance in my TARDIS.
And then they gave him a bow tie.
Okay, well, bow ties are cool.
I'm glad it didn't go that way.
They are, but how did that shift happen?
Yeah.
Yep. It was a very strange idea. I
what they did was way better.
Yes,
yeah, what
100%.
they did was way better.
Well, I remember them getting teased when he got cast of like, this is the youngest Doctor ever. And, and they were making jokes. He's going to have to travel in the TARDIS with his parents, which he did with his in-laws. But, but so maybe that was why they went away from that. They're like, okay, well, we can't have him be like a cliche millennial. We're going to have to go and make him quirky. Like you said, give him a bow tie and a fez. See where this goes.
So are there any things, again, that we absolutely loved about Ncuti Gatwa's run? I think we all have agreed in our own personal chat. The best episode that they did in season 2 was The Well.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
The fact that they called back to David Tennant's, the
Midnight.
Planet
and
of
Donna
Midnight.
was in that one too. Yeah.
Honest to goodness, that was probably the best episode.
It was super tense, super scary.
We finally had a scary Doctor Who episode after how long?
And like I said, anytime the Doctor and his companion have to put on spacesuits, it's going to get real. And it's going to be a good episode, in my opinion. They've all been good episodes when they
Water of Mars.
Yeah, one of the best. Yeah.
Well, and also the way they ended that episode too was kind of cool because like he didn't save the day. He thinks he did, but he didn't.
Right.
And I thought it was cool with the like you knew there was going to be some relevance to the girl being deaf. So I thought that was kind of cool how they played into that. And you know, he's like, "Oh well, you can't hear the monster," but yeah, that one was fantastic. I like that they keep using Mavity. They've made it a thing.
Yep.
What I don't understand in the singing one, though, was how was that girl singing in a different language and the TARDIS wasn't translating it? Was because the TARDIS was out in space? Or was it back then?
I think that it liked artistic license.
That's a good point.
Well,
all right, I'll let it slide.
Yeah. I'll allow it.
I think, like I said, there were some great things that have happened in Doctor Who. And of course, being fans as we are, we're going to find plot holes. We're going to find problems. Like, I really want to see the fan kids from the one episode, see where they end up. Like, I want to have them come back.
Yeah, the kids. I liked that when they put the show in the show.
Like, and they became their own meta joke. That's going to be fun. I would love to see that. I would love to see them come back as just like the behind the scenes, episodes, or if BBC decided to do hey, let's do a breakdown with these actors, like give them a full-time job kind of idea. But like I said, I think that there are some issues going forward as far as story and plot. Is there anything that you're concerned about with the future of Doctor Who?
I mean, it's such a complicated universe. It's been here forever. So, I mean, it has its ups, it has its downs. I'm not too concerned. I don't like these short seasons, and I wish that they would wrap up some of these issues and, let's get the granddaughter story before this woman passes away who's been playing this character for 60 years, like you said. Like, that's really cool that they use the same actress. I did not realize that till you put them side by side. Yeah. But I'm not too worried. It's been around forever. And, it's a show that's so out there that, like, whenever you're watching it, you kind of have to just know it's going to, I never know when my husband's going to walk in. He doesn't even know what a Dalek is. So it's like he walks in on, like, obviously the most absurd things. He's like, what the hell are you watching? Yeah. But he just, it's Doctor Who. It's what it is.
How about you, Mickey? You got any issues or concerns with the future of Doctor Who?
I mean, we've already touched on it with like how like they're letting it get too loose, I guess would be the way to put it, instead of keeping it like tight, right? So like we've just got all these crazy timelines and characters, doctors everywhere, and it's like at some point it's either just going to be like we just forget any of that happened, or we're going to have and straighten the ship, or like lean into it somehow. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like, I know it's Doctor Who, so we want a lot of callbacks. We want Easter eggs. We want that stuff. But we also need to kind of like just
move forward.
Yes. Like, I don't know. Stop worrying about addressing things, or like, if you're going to pick an arc like the granddaughter, right? Let's stick with that. Let's not do like 10 character arcs, story arcs at one time, and then only close up one or two.
Right.
So like, yeah. I think they just need to tighten up their writing and their storytelling. That's the only thing that concerns me. I would have thought with Davies coming back, like that would have got better, but it feels like it's gotten worse. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. But as far as everything is concerned, I think that, we're still going to keep getting more Doctor Who. Obviously,
it's never going to go.
It's never. It did for quite some time. You had to figure from 97 to when Eccleston. So there was a good 12, 13 year gap there.
Didn't it come back in 05? Did you say 87 or 97?
87, wasn't it?
97. It was 97. So, and even still before the 8th Doctor's movie, it went off in 87 as well. And that would have been Sylvester McCoy's Doctor. So there's a long timeline of Doctor Who that was filled in with audiobooks and comics and everything.
Oh yeah.
We're still going to keep getting more Doctor Who. I'm it's Doctor Who. Billy Piper's back in some way, shape, or form. Just do it right. That's all I care about. Just give me a good story.
Yeah.
That's all.
The best way to counteract the shock and this like why is to make a good story. Like you said, like if you do that, people will come around and be like, okay, I get it. That's kind of cool.
Just like word of mouth spreads too.
And it's just like they did with Capaldi. Like, why did he change into that? Because that's technically the second generation that we've had where it's been an actor that we've seen on screen before. Peter Davidson was a background actor back during 3, and they're like, But Capaldi, they finally like, oh, well, why did I choose this face? So hopefully we get something like that with Billy Piper. I just really am worried with everything with the Metacrisis Doctor and the Other World and Bad Wolf. This is going to come back to bite us in the ass.
I am. Do I need to go rewatch all the Tennant Rose episodes before she comes back?
Go find a supercut somewhere. Seriously, just a reminder episode. That's what I think. But, speaking of reminding everybody, we've got so much stuff coming out here on Nerd Initiative, and also big shout out to our Turn a Page crew, Rich and Ken giving us control tonight, coming out here, doing all our timey-wimey stuff. So make sure, with everything going on, that you stick here with Nerd Initiative by making sure you hit that subscribe button, ding the thing, let it ring, hit the bell for notifications, and then tap that thumbs up to let Michael, the GEO, know that we're doing our job and we're doing it well. Point. Lauren doesn't watch Play for Keeps. Sorry, we were talking about Cabbage Patch Kids. You were there.
Yeah, no, I even commented. I watched. So sometimes I'll put it on and I listen in the background. You guys, it's always on when I'm putting kids to bed, but it's summer vacation now. So
okay, blame the children. Yeah.
Sure.
But guys, thank you so very much for taking the time. I appreciate it. It's always fun talking with you, Lauren. Absolutely, Mickey, and whatever. I deal with you every week.
Yeah, okay.
But make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure that you follow along with Nerd Initiative. Down in the description, we've got all of our links here for everybody. You can follow all their link trees. Also, if I get a chance, I'll go back and actually put in their season 1 episodes that these guys join me with, so you can see we're not just talking about Doctor Who just for snits and giggles. We actually kind of know what we're doing here. All right. So
Tom definitely does.
I can't believe I just went on a tirade tonight. So next time when you're at the comic book shop and you see someone, again, wrong episode. Make sure that when you play, like,
nope.
I don't know how to end it. Hey,
I don't want to go.
I don't want to go. Be excellent to each other, and I'll catch you in the next one. I'm out.